stuff, and the other person might not get anything because they didn't mix it up good enough. They didn't distribute it.
But it'd be like, what shape would it be like? Would it just be
They
like
basically made a pan of this shit, just cut it into little squares. That's all.
Yeah.
No fancy, no bears, no nothing. Just, I mean, you could look at it and see like when they started doing that Jello recipe, Jello treats that were wiggly but they kept the shape. You know what I mean? It was like that. Somebody poured it in a pan.
But that's just like somebody making this shit in their house.
Yeah, you can make it in your house.
So people was like, they had recipes and shit.
Yep. Look at Owsley. I think he was a chemistry major. But acid is easy to make if you know how to make it. If you have, like you said, the recipe.
To make a YouTube video on how to make it.
Yeah, that's illegal. But and you definitely don't want to film yourself doing something illegal. That's about the dumbest thing I ever heard. Oh, let me give you the evidence so you can convict me.
Not anymore. It's just like these channels on Instagram, social media, where they like do these like hacks. It's called now I can't think of the word. Ethical scamming. Yeah, ethical scams. So like the one dude will be like he'll just like a blackmail pedophiles and send them money and shit.
Okay, that's one thing.
Ethical scammers.
Okay, that's one thing. But if you were to actually make LSD on camera where they could identify you, that's a crime. And it's big. They like to fuck you up if you're doing that.
So only the government is allowed to do that?
Yep. The government,
so
they like to keep all the funds to themselves.
Who the fuck created that shit?
The only way you could get away with it is if you only showed like your hands and you had like gloves on, so that
they still track your IP or something, wherever it came from.
Well,
they can track wherever it came
I'm sure there's a way to hide it. There's
a
way to track it.
Ain't no way to hide shit on the internet. Even if you use a VPN, they'll go to the CIA, whoever, FBI. They'll go to the VPN.
They could go to the VPN, but how can they identify the person? All you're saying is this person had this video.
Your phone. Your phone's connected to your...
Okay, and all they're saying is this person had this video on their phone. You can't identify the person in the video.
But they use reasonable doubt.
They can't. Reasonable doubt works both ways. You have nothing to prove that what the person is making is actually acid. All those bottles could be just labeled or not labeled. So, yeah, basically, you got a video of a guy making gummy stuff. What's in it? Nobody knows. There's no proof. You cannot convict without proof. It's the only way you can
just said the dude is going to be showing people a recipe how to make gas.
But did he actually, having the recipe, it's in books, it's everywhere. The recipe's
But that's
out
the
there.
video. You're going to show you. Like, you watch the cooking videos and they show you how much to add and then they make it in front of you.
Again, you can't have no proof that what they're using.
I get what you said. But I'm saying if you really was making it, not like pretending and shit. Like you really was like, okay, here's how you...
I mean, you could even start the video out with saying, this is for informational purposes only. No real stuff was you. You could put a disclaimer on it. You could do all kinds of things to protect yourself. If you really wanted to do this, you could do it. And what about the black web?
Dark web?
Dark web, whatever it's called. Black web, dark web, midnight web, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. All I was saying was that would go viral.
I think listen, there are enough publications and all different kinds of areas where you could find the recipe for making LSD. Okay? It's not new. Okay? It's nothing. Oh, look, we just got the recipe today. It's been out for decades. It's been out since the 50s, I think, or
Yeah, but
early
who
60s.
came out with it? Who was the originator of it?
I think it was a guy over in Germany or Sweden. LSD.
They just be fucking around with chemicals.
Well, actually, they found out that LSD was very good and helped people with. Later on, they found out it helped with addiction problems, but it also helped with people with psychological trauma, PTSD.
How does it help?
You would have to do acid to understand. The only thing I can explain to you is this. You got to be real careful when you do acid to begin with. Don't just go drop acid. That's stupid. Because it does fuck with your head. So you have to approach it with the right mindset.
So you can lose your mind.
No. People who they claim lost their minds because of acid, they were already fucked up, okay?
Yeah.
It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. But it can... It makes you... How do I explain? This is really hard to explain. Because you don't... It's one of those things that you have to experience.
I know what you're saying.
But approaching it properly with the right frame of mind is very important. And here's the thing that I always found kind of interesting about it. That if you had some things you were trying to work out, that you'd been thinking about for a while, or that were like on in the back of your mind, or just, and it's Saturday night, you got tickets for the show, and you're going to go to the show, you're going to go do some acid, you're going to get some great music and have a great time. So you got the right frame of mind, but you still always have problems in your life, right? I would go and I would do whatever, and the next day I would wake up and everything would be sorted out in my mind. I could look at it much clearer. And all of a sudden I was like, you know what, I really need, the answer to this really lies in this. And I get it figured out. And it happened so many times, it was not a coincidence. So there's that. The worst thing that can happen is if some asshole
lace the shit.
No, it decides to be somebody decides to be an idiot. Like, I went to a show, and this was when I very first met Jim. I went to a show with this guy, and he decided to give me a really hard time that night about stupid bullshit after I dropped, I think, 3 tabs of pretty strong shit. And at one point, I just looked at him and I said,
you took so many?
Huh?
You took so many. You say you only needed one.
Well, see, what happened was...
What happened?
This is what happened.
Jesus.
We were headed for the show in my great big white dream machine. And on the way to the show, we were going down Route 46. And we saw Jim and Debbie hitchhiking to the show. So we stopped and picked them up. Now I got this car that's like got 9 people in it, and it's only meant to sit 4. Okay. Debbie's on the back on the floor. Everybody's jammed in there. And we get about to the Lincoln Tunnel. And we get to the Lincoln Tunnel, and somebody says, guess what time it is? And what time is it? It's time to dose. And we all dosed. And we got to the parking lot.
So everybody does it at the same time?
Yeah, because you all want to be getting off at the same time. This is a group function here, okay? So anyway, we're sitting there, and we get in the parking lot, and we set up everything we got to set up, and nothing's happening. And it's been, a while. And I looked at Deb, and I said, it's been over 45 minutes, and I don't feel a fucking thing. Do you think I should take another 2? And she said, I would. And I said, okay, good. And I took more. And then the whole thing came on. It was horrible. It was like, uh-oh, that was fucking stupid, wasn't it? If
So,
you had only
can you
waited
overdose
another...
on that shit?
No, you can't. If you had only waited another 15 minutes, but I was high as a motherfucking kite. And the thing is, you're trying to balance yourself and you're trying to maintain, but you're fucked up. Okay. It's different than being really drunk and trying to, give some semblance of I can walk and talk like a normal human being. Because you actually can, if you could just stop laughing. So yeah, I'm high as a fucking kite. This guy's giving me a hard time, and I finally looked at him and I said, if you're trying to give me a bad trip, you're doing a really good job. And he looked at me and shut up. Just shut the fuck up. It was a little bit uncomfortable because one thing you cannot have when you're dosing is negative vibes of any kind. Because the problem is, it amplifies everything. So you want to surround yourself with good stuff, with happy stuff, with pretty stuff, with beautiful stuff, with great music. You don't want to focus on sad things because you could focus on them to the point where you just spend your whole night like feeling worse and worse and worse and worse because it amplifies emotions. So yeah, you don't. I mean, there's a whole science behind dosing and how to do it and do it correctly. I mean, you're talking about mushrooms. That's peyote, all right? And the American Indian used this to take spirit journeys or whatever to get revelations. Like I said, to wake up the next day and the problem is figured out in your head. Like somehow the computer was running in the background and the next day you can see clearly. Well, that's the concept. It can be useful and it can. Here's the other thing: you can't do it 2 days in a row.
Why not?
You lose
Shit
that.
is burnt out.
You lose the effect. Like if you dose one night, you don't dose the next night. You take a night or two off because you don't. There's nothing new to reveal. Your brain needs to reset.
So this was like every 6 months type of thing?
No. No, this is like an every week type of thing. But again, your brain needs time to reset, and you're not really gaining anything. And then you also have some journeys are more colorful than others. It not only amplifies emotions, it amplifies sound and color. So blue looks bluer, and if this sounded good, now it sounds even better, and stuff like that kind of a thing. Okay, so if you end up having a really visual journey...
You can get the check, please?
Yes, and you want your certificate?
Oh, could I please have a...
toolbox?
Yeah, that thing.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Steak, vegetables, or tomato?
Steak, vegetables? Yeah, I'll get that. Thank you so much.
2 boxes or 3?
2 boxes. Or you want?
No, 1 box for me. I mean, there's a whole way of doing.
That's what you should make your channel about. You should teach people how to properly do drugs.
Yeah, because nobody gonna listen.
There's a niche for that. Here's how the right way to do it. I'm telling you right now, there's a lane for that.
You telling me
there's
there's
a lane for
absolutely
that.
nobody on the internet describing to people, don't go fuck yourself up stupidly, approach this properly?
I don't know any channel right now that I could think of, but I never really
looked into that either,
but,
did you?
But either way, like that's a niche right there. Like, once again, every day there's people that want to try certain stuff every day, but they don't know. They don't trust them. They don't like, where do you go to ask how to do,
What's your food?
Oh, shit.
Oh, thank you
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Anything else I can do for you?
Oh no, we'll just take the check.
Okay, so I find that very hard to believe that nobody.
I'm not saying it don't, but I'm saying what I'm just saying is as far as like the brand, that it would be the brand would be, you know, like they make these channels, the do's and don'ts of
Yeah. Okay.
how to, you know, whatever.